Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ask Jameen. I'm Nicci Willis, and
I'm Ask Jameen.
And today we are going to discuss why Las Vegas is still one of the best places to invest. Okay, here we go. So before we get started, I want to remind you to make sure you subscribe, hit that button down there in the corner, and hit that bell so that you're notified every time we upload new content. We are trying to grow our subscribership.
No. We are growing our subscribership.
Excuse me, we are growing.
Numbers are
That is true. You guys have been subscribing. So thank you to all those who have been subscribing, and we are growing, and we could use your help by sharing this, commenting and all that good stuff. Sharing it with people that are interested in real estate all over the nation. We talk about all things real estate. So make sure you go ahead and share this, and thanks guys so much. So are you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Okay, so the question is, that many of you have been asking is Las Vegas still one of the best places to invest?
So I got to tell you right off the bat, I'm excited about this question because it's my city. It's my city.
And investing is your thing.
It is. So this question came across like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And people wanting to know, they're looking to make a decision, or they're just asking a general question, or they're on the fence. So is Las Vegas still one of the best places to invest? So the first thing I want to point out, that Las Vegas is still the entertainment capital of the world.
Yes, it is. So, yes, we are.
So if you are into economics, the economy, industries, jobs, and things like that. So if somebody says this place is the entertainment capital of the world, that means things are going on.
Yeah, there's numbers to back it.
Right. So is COVID over? Is it not over? It seems like it's over. But anyways, I guess numbers are declining with COVID, right?
Yeah.
So, but despite COVID, all the different variations and things like that, Las Vegas is still the entertainment capital of the world.
Right.
During COVID, right now, as it was declining, when the numbers were higher, people were still coming to Las Vegas. If they weren't coming, they were waiting to come, or they were trying to come. So Las Vegas is still the entertainment capital of the world. And now that COVID numbers are dropping, people were roaring back. We've been outside.
we kind of saw an uptick, especially in domestic travel to Las Vegas, because it was one of those more freer places, and you could, kind of have a respite from the mundane things that people were doing from home. So we saw an uptick in domestic travel.
Yeah, so I give people the restaurant example. So you look at one restaurant and there's a huge line.
Right.
You know it's a huge line, but it's a wait. So it's like, do I want to wait? But it's like, if those people are waiting, it must be a good restaurant.
Must be good. So I'm going to stay here.
If you see a restaurant where there's no wait, it's like, I can hurry up and get my food, but it's the reason why there's no line and you can hurry up and get your food. So Las Vegas is still the entertainment capital of the world. So I'll just say, until we get to the next one, let's read in between the lines. When you see a crowd, that means whatever it is generally good. When you don't see a crowd, it's generally not good.
Yeah.
So that's number 1 right there.
Okay. So here's number 2. Las Vegas ranks number 1 as far as earnings for Airbnbs. Honolulu is number 2.
Yeah.
And let's see, Miami, Orlando, and Tel Aviv, Israel round out the top 5. So not only is Las Vegas in the top 5 as far as Airbnb earnings, they're number 1. We're number 1. So that also should tell you right there that is a good place to invest.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then one thing that I want to point out, everybody doesn't notice, because this is kind of an insider thing, unless you live here or you have one or you're looking real closely into investing.
Yeah.
we're number one despite legally not being able to legally run Airbnb. So what a lot of people don't know, only the city of Henderson right now, only the city of Henderson and the city of Las Vegas. So all of Las Vegas is not the city of Las Vegas.
Right.
So despite it being heavily regulated right now, which we're going to talk about in just a second, we're still number one. So when you talk about, is this a good place to invest? Okay, it's heavily scrutinized, heavily regulated, and we're still number one.
Yeah.
So that should let you know, hey, this is a place I should really look into in terms of long-term and short-term investing, which we're talking about later. So this is not a fun fact. This is this is something you should really look into. So on July 1st, there's a new ordinance coming into effect with Clark County that will open it up to all areas. Now, that doesn't mean that you still don't have to do your due diligence on, is this a good property? Is this a good subdivision? There's still HOA regulations and things that you have to deal with before. So not only are we the number one right now, but on top of that, on July 1st, a new ordinance is going to come into place to where it's going to open it up for even more Airbnbs all over the city of Las Vegas. So that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge.
Yeah, it is. I did this is a shameless plug, but I did do it. I did a TikTok on what's going on July 1st. So if you want to follow me, go ahead and do that. Nicci Willis, NICCIWILLIS. And that's where I give tips on all kinds of real estate and short-term rentals, long-term rentals, and all that good stuff. So make sure you follow me on that.
Ooh, I have a good analogy.
Oh, go.
So this is kind of like, you know how before marijuana was only legal if you had a medical license. So this is kind of similar to only being able to have a medical marijuana license to doing public consumption. Yeah. So that's going to be the difference between it only being the city of Henderson and Las Vegas to everywhere. It's still regulated, just like the marijuana industry. It's still heavily regulated, but it's going to open up a lot more opportunities.
Oh, that is a good analogy, babe. Yes. Okay.
That's right.
So, another reason, I mean, you've got, the ordinance that's taking place, that's going into effect July 1st. But also, Vegas is really, for lack of better words, it's almost too big to fail. If you're looking for, what's the big draw, right? When you're looking to invest, especially when you're talking short-term rentals, you're always looking at, well, what's the big draw to the city? And Las Vegas, not only does it have the Strip, okay, you've got the Strip, you've got sports now, we've got a ton of professional sports and counting. Right. You have downtown Las Vegas, so even if you don't want to go to the Strip, you can go downtown. We've got the Hoover Dam. Yep. We've got, now we have like recreational marijuana, and you can find one of those literally on every corner. But, you have all these draws, right? So when we say Las Vegas is kind of too big to fail, like that's what we mean. There are so many, there's not even just one singular draw. There's so many different draws that cause people to just gravitate here. I mean, people come several times a year. People make it, a once a year trip. I mean, this is the entertainment capital of the world, and people have to stay somewhere.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So break this down. So I want to go back to short-term rentals. So even before we permanently moved here, just about every time we came to visit, we stayed in the Airbnb.
Yeah, we did.
And so although we enjoy entertainment and things like that, we were coming to check out the residential areas, to check out offices, and to have fun too. Yeah. So there's different reasons why people come here. People come here for work, play, checking out to relocate. So it's different reasons why people come here, even though it's like the #1 entertainment capital of the world. Yeah. People come here for a bunch of different reasons. The second thing is, when I say that Vegas is too big to fail, you have like the Mirage Casino. So the Mirage used to be under the MGM umbrella. So they got bought out by Hard Rock. And so what happens is when a big corporation like Hard Rock, like we stayed in a Hard Rock in
Mexico.
So we stayed in a Hard Rock in Mexico. So a big company like that, they hire within. So they say, hey, we just acquired a new property. Who in the company wants to relocate to Vegas? So that opens up the long-term rental market. It opens up the flipping or the rehab market. So that opens up so jobs create opportunities for investment as far as being a landlord, to be a flipper, to have short-term rentals. And so when companies like that, cities court or lobby for places like Google and Teslas and big companies like that make a huge difference with economics as far as tax dollars, helping the economy grow and things like that. So when you have big corporations that come into town, when you have big sports teams that decide, hey, we're going to come to this city, that means jobs, and jobs means the need for more housing. Short-term, long-term, rentals, home ownership, building, it just helps spur the economy. So whenever you see things and corporations coming to a city, you follow the corporation. When you see them leaving, that's when you say, oh, maybe here is not a good place for it to do. Similar to the automotive industry. So back in the day, Detroit oh my God.
Motor City.
It was Motor City. When all those car companies pulled out and all those factories, and we went from the industrial age to technology, Detroit is like, no, we might want to find somewhere else. So that's one of the major things. When you see big companies and sports teams and like that come into a city, that's the city that you should look at, and that city is Las Vegas right now. Yeah.
I mean, if, what it boils down to is follow the money.
Yep.
If you want to see if it's a good decision to invest wherever it is, I mean, we're talking Las Vegas, but at the end of the day, follow the money.
Yep.
I mean, you talking about Hard Rock just acquired the Mirage. Fountain Blue just acquired the other building down the street.
Well, they didn't acquire it. They just resumed.
They took over construction. I think that's been in construction for quite some time. So, so I'm looking forward to that. I mean, we've been to Fountain Blue before, so
brand new hotels.
We got the Resorts World. That just opened up.
What's the one? Virgin.
Circa.
Virgin was just.
I mean, these are literally in the past 18 months. 12 to 18 months. All these new hotels, brand new hotels have been opening. So if you want to know where is a good place to invest, follow the money, follow the businesses that are making big decisions to move into a city.
And big corporations, not to say they're the smartest in the world, but they don't do things in cities where things aren't going on. So when you see like the NBA draft is going to be here, that's like, oh, we're having it in this city because that city has a whole lot going on. So they had the Super Bowl or the NBA draft. They have it in Atlanta. So when you see it in Atlanta, and you seen they had the Super Bowl in New Orleans when they had the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, there's a place you should check those things out. So that's the aha moment. Follow the money.
Follow the money. Yeah. Okay. So number 4. I think we've been kind of listing things out. Las Vegas has been a dual threat city for a while now. And so what we call by dual threat, I mean, you hear like triple threat. So now Las Vegas is a dual threat because what we've always known Las Vegas to be is, for the adult entertainment or the nightlife or, adult nightlife or whatever you want to call it. But now Las Vegas has been becoming more family friendly as well. And even that is why we picked Airbnbs when we came, because we have a small family. We had young kids. And so having a house, that we could cook in with a yard or a pool or whatever, it just made sense for us. And what we're now starting to see a trend and an uptick in families coming to Las Vegas to, spend their vacation, spend, part of their summer or spring break And they're able to do that because Las Vegas is diversifying their entertainment.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the smartest things that Las Vegas did, because sports is kind of equivalent to family. Because it's one thing to go down to a casino to gamble and things like that. Another thing is to grab up your son or your family and go see a football game.
Or a Knights game.
Yeah, or a Knights game. Or, you know, anything like that. Or just like me and my son, we went to go see wrestling. You know what I mean? So it's something that's kid-friendly, something that people can do.
Right.
And honestly, that's like one of the main joys of living here. You can turn up and you can be on the strip, but then you can go back home 15 minutes away and live regular old suburban life. And even if you don't go down to the strip or don't partake in the nightlife, there's so many things to do.
So many other
things to do. And it's new. So anything that's new, a lot of people kind of flock to what's new, and so that makes it a great place. So the dual threat is you can go to the strip and live, you know, the glitz life, but you can have regular old day-to-day life, and it's also quality, it's also new, it's family friendly, so it's something for everybody versus maybe 20, 30 years. It's like, no, you definitely don't, you know, bring your kids to Las Vegas. Definitely don't bring your kids down to the strip. Even going to the strip, you know, even 10 years ago, it looked totally different.
That is so
totally
true.
Different than it does today.
Yeah, those guys with the little paper things.
Right, yeah.
They would hand out those nudie cards. Oh, they'd be everywhere. Anyway, I was gonna say something to that. Oh gosh, I forgot. Why do I do that every time we are on a roll and then I forget?
I don't know. We'll see what you were going to do.
That's okay. Number 5 is that not only in Las Vegas, but the West Coast has some of the highest appreciation rates in the country. Now, a while back, we were talking about appreciation when we were talking about home ownership. But obviously, it coincides with being an investor too. So when you own something, obviously that property is going to appreciate in value. And so it's very important to just to know that and realize that Las Vegas is going to be appreciating value for quite some time.
Yeah, so there's a difference in regions. So being able to live in 2 different regions, you can see the difference and you can kind of counsel or give advice accordingly. So in the Midwest, from an investment standpoint, you really focus on cash flow, like how much money do you make like per month. But here on the West Coast, you may not cash flow as much, like month to month, but year over year appreciation is much higher than the Midwest or a smaller town versus where you can make more money per month. But if you're trying to increase your net worth or you're leaving a legacy, passing things down, it's going up in value a lot more per month than a smaller town or typically in the Midwest. So the great thing about not only Las Vegas, but California, Oregon, Utah, these states, properties go up in value higher year over year. So when you talk about investment, something, if you're doing a long-term investing game, it's something that's going to go up in value year over year a lot, which makes it a safer and a good investment.
Yeah. Okay, so devil's advocate here. What if someone says, well, what if the market crashes or what if the market goes down?
Absolutely. I go right back to my last point. Las Vegas is kind of too big to fail. So as we've seen when the market absolutely nosedived and tanked in 2009 and 2010, if you're in it for the long run, you just hold on, and it's going to come back up. And when I tell people this at least once a week, even if it goes down, it's going to come back up. And when it comes back up, it's going to be much higher than it was before it went down. So what if the market tanks? Okay, what if the market tanks? And we're going to talk about what if the market tanks. It's going to open up a different opportunity, a different type of investing. But yeah, if the market goes down, it's going to correct itself quicker, and you're going to see it shoot back up versus it may take a little bit longer in the Midwest. It may take a little bit longer in the South, and so it'll correct itself I'm telling you that it'll correct itself, and it will correct itself faster in a higher appreciation state like Las Vegas.
All right. So, is Las Vegas still one of the best places to invest? We're definitely telling you yes. I think it's important to use a realtor when you are looking for whether you're looking for short-term investments or long-term investments.
Absolutely.
It's best to work with a realtor that knows the market, that understands the areas and what you're trying to do with your portfolio. Anything else?
The other thing is just the next point is that long-term rental rates are on the rise. Since we've moved here, rental rates have went up almost 40%, and that's in 3 years. So if you can have a product and that product goes up in value 40%, no matter it's real estate or anything else, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the attractions, it being a dual threat, it being too big to fail, rent is just going to continue to increase. It's not going to nosedive. Even if the market goes down, it's still such a huge demand. It's still so many industries, so many things that's going on. People have to have somewhere to live. So even if they can't buy, they have to rent. So if the market goes down, that creates more demand. So rental rates, it's not short-term rentals, long-term rentals, keep going up. And so that you want to be in a place where rents keep going up, which is what we have right now, what we've seen even before COVID, and it going up 40%. Just before that, Las Vegas rents keep going up.
Yeah, I remember what I was going to say now.
Okay.
So as far as me, when I'm looking at whether something is a good investment, I'm also looking at, we're going back to the big draw. You don't want to have to, it's more particular with short-term rentals, you don't want to have to put in so much work to help people find things to do in the city.
Right.
And Las Vegas makes it so much easier because of all the draws that this city has. So when I'm looking at, what's a good investment? Well, what are some of the local things that they can do? What's a quick drive away, or a quick, a quick Uber drive away, or hop on a bus and go here? What's super close to the area? What do I have access to?
So you're saying the city sells itself?
The city sells itself. And I mean, that goes for long-term, rentals as well. But I think short-term rentals, when I'm looking at what's a good place to invest, I'm looking at, does the city sell itself? Does it make it easy for me to say, here are all the things that you can do, when you stay at my property?
It's like back in the day when you went to Gatlinburg and you stayed in one of the little cabins or the chalet. They had a book and you could flip through the book, and they would tell you the different things that you could do.
How far it was, who it involved, whether it was more family friendly or whether it was more, adult entertainment. And so, Las Vegas, I think, is, again, diversifying itself even more to include more family friendly things, but also just to be accessible to all kinds of activities. And that really helps, to keep your Airbnb or your short-term rental booked throughout the month. So, that's what I had to say. I know it was kind of further up, but thanks for hanging in there with me, y'all.
That's okay.
Just had to add that in there.
Yeah. So last but not least, my last point is for all the doom and gloom people, and we're in a bubble, and I'ma hold on. I'm waiting for.
Don't be doing that to the people. Don't do that to the people.
So
their feelings are valid.
Here's my last point. It's the Jerry Springer moment for all the people who used to watch Jerry Springer. Even if the market goes down, even if it just nosedives, Las Vegas doesn't go off the map as being a good place to invest. It just opens up a different type of opportunity. So what I mean by that is, even with like stocks and things like that, people tell you to buy in the dip. So if you see a dip, okay, so right now, let's say, I'm just going to throw out a nice round even number. Let's say if you want to invest in real estate, the least amount of money you have to have is $100,000, right? Let's say if the market goes down, now that amount lowers to 80,000. So that creates opportunity for some people. They only had 80,000. They didn't have 100,000, so they couldn't get in the game.
Right.
So if the market goes down, if the prices of houses go down, it provides an opportunity. If you want to do long-term rentals, then you can buy up long-term rentals for a lower price.
Yeah.
Or if you want to do short-term rentals, you can buy those for a lower price, and then it creates an opportunity to where you so if you had money to buy, now you can buy two instead of one. So if the numbers go down, just like stocks, you can only buy, like right now, you can only buy one Bitcoin because Bitcoin is super high. Bitcoin goes down.
$40,000.
Yeah, so if Bitcoin goes down, guess what? You can buy two.
Right.
And if Bitcoin, everybody is right, you look at the historical facts of Bitcoin, it's going to go back up. So you buy when it's low. So if it goes down, it's even more of a better place to invest. So when I say it's too big to fail, because Vegas is an established city, and it's also new at the same time compared to other cities.
Yeah, it is.
Even if it goes down, it's going to be just a different opportunity. It doesn't mean that opportunity goes away. It now becomes a different opportunity, and it opens it up for not only the big corporations or the hedge funds and things like that, mom and pop, one investment property opens up opportunities for those type of people in that type of market also. So I'm excited about the future either way. Yeah,
for sure. And guys, just remember, investing is a long game. Okay, when we're talking these numbers, and when we're telling you that some place is a good place to invest, and whether the market flips or corrects itself and things like that, we're talking the long game here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that button down there in the corner, and hit that bell so that you're notified every time we upload new content. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.